So you've brought home a new cat. First of all, congratulations. That's amazing. You're starting a really incredible journey. We're going to dive into a crucial part of their care that's about so much more than just looking good, and that's grooming. In this explainer, we'll build your toolkit for keeping your new best friend happy and, most importantly, healthy.
Okay, first things first, let's just reframe how we think about this whole thing. Grooming isn't about vanity. It's not about making your cat pretty. Think of it as one of the most powerful forms of preventative health care you can possibly provide. It's your way of catching those little problems before they become big, painful, and, yeah, very expensive ones.
And when I say expensive, I'm not kidding. This is a real-world cost for a single complex dental surgery for a cat with advanced periodontal disease. And the thing is, in so many of these cases, it could have been completely avoided with simple, consistent care at home. This is exactly what we're trying to prevent.
All right, let's start with the basics, the absolute foundation of your entire grooming routine. We're going to break down the two things you'll be doing most often, caring for your cat's coat and, of course, their claws. If you can master these, you're already way ahead of the game. You know, what's great about this is how simple it is to get it right. You don't need a whole drawer overflowing with gadgets. The real key is just matching the right tool to your cat's specific coat. So for short-haired cats, a simple rubber glove brush is fantastic. For those beautiful long-haired cats, you absolutely need both a slicker brush for that dense undercoat and a good metal comb for the top coat. See, using the wrong tool isn't just ineffective, it can actually be pretty uncomfortable for your cat. So how in the world do you get a cat to actually tolerate or even enjoy being brushed? Well, the secret is you don't force it. It's all about patience and positive reinforcement. Week 1 is just about creating a good vibe. Let them sniff the brush, get some treats, and that's it. Then by week 3 or 4, you can build up to longer sessions. But always, always stop before your cat gets annoyed. This slow, treat-based method, it really does work for the vast majority of cats. Okay, this is a question that comes up all the time with new cat owners. And it's a totally logical assumption to make. But the answer is a firm, definite no. And understanding why is really critical for your cat's health and comfort. And here's the key distinction you've got to understand. A scratching post serves a totally different purpose than a nail trim. Scratching lets cats stretch, mark their territory, and shed the dead outer layer of their claws, which actually makes them sharper. A scratching post is for claw maintenance, not for keeping them short and safe. That part of the job, well, that's up to you. And this right here lays out the perfect safe technique. Look, before you ever bring out the clippers, just spend a week getting your cat used to you touching their paws. Gently press on their paw pads, then give them a treat. That's it. When you're ready to trim, make sure you can see the pink part inside the nail. That's called the quick. You only want to snip the white tip. And trust me, trimming too little is always, always better than trimming too much. Okay, now we need to shift gears and move to a much more serious topic. This is a difficult conversation, but it's an absolutely vital subject that every single cat owner really needs to understand clearly and without any confusion. We have to be crystal clear on what this procedure actually is, medically speaking. Declawing is not a manicure. It's not just removing the nail. It is a series of 10 separate amputations of the last bone in each of your cat's front toes. To put that in perspective, it's the equivalent of cutting off a human's fingers at the last knuckle. And this slide just puts it in such stark contrast. A nail trim removes dead keratin. That's it. It's painless, just like trimming your own fingernails. Declawing removes bone, nerves, and tendons. It forces a cat to walk differently for the rest of its life and often leads to chronic pain and arthritis. The two procedures just could not be more different. And the scientific data on the behavioral fallout from this, it's just overwhelming. It's not even a debate. When a cat's primary defense mechanism is surgically removed and their paws are in constant pain, they often turn to other behaviors. They are so much more likely to stop using the litter box because the litter actually hurts their amputated toes. And they're far more likely to bite because they feel defenseless. So here's the bottom line. With regular nail trims, plenty of good scratching posts, and other simple things like double-sided cape on your furniture, there's just no need to ever consider this procedure. The choice really is between your couch and your cat's long-term physical and psychological health. Okay, let's shift gears. Now that we've covered those core skills, let's talk about how you can turn these simple grooming routines into an incredibly powerful weekly health screening, one that could honestly save your cat's life.
Every single time you brush your cat, you have this golden opportunity to do a quick health check. As you glide the brush over their body, run your other hand over them too. Really feel for any new lumps or bumps. Take a moment to part the fur and actually look at the skin. Are you seeing any redness, any flakes, or those little black specks we call flea dirt?
And this health check doesn't just stop with the coat. Make it a regular habit to take a quick peek at their ears and their eyes. Healthy ears should be pale pink inside with hardly any wax. Healthy eyes should be bright and clear. The warning signs you see here, like dark, smelly wax, or any kind of eye discharge, are often the very first indicators of an infection that needs a vet's attention. Remember, you are your cat's first line of defense. All right, let's talk about what is, hands down, the single most common health issue diagnosed in adult cats. We're talking about dental disease. It affects over 70% of cats by the time they're just 3 years old. And believe me, the consequences go way beyond just bad breath.
So what can you actually do at home? This slide breaks down your best options. Now, brushing with a cat-safe toothpaste, that is the absolute gold standard. But let's be real, not all cats are going to tolerate it. If there's won't, a good brushless oral gel with enzymes is a really great alternative. We generally recommend avoiding water additives, mainly because their long-term safety just isn't very well studied.
Okay, now when we talk about professional dental cleanings, the kind that require anesthesia, there is one rule. It is non-negotiable, and it is absolutely critical for your cat's safety. Please listen closely to this next part. This is why this rule is so important. This is a heartbreaking real-life story from a foster parent. You see, anesthesia is processed by the liver and the kidneys. If a cat has an underlying, undiagnosed kidney disease, putting them under anesthesia without knowing can trigger acute organ failure. This tragedy was completely preventable. And that's the approximate cost of the blood panel, the test that could have shown the pre-existing kidney disease. This simple test allows the vet to change the anesthesia they use or even postpone the procedure altogether. And I'll say this, if your vet ever suggests skipping this blood work to save money, you need to find a new vet, period. And that really leads us to our final point. Being a proactive, responsible pet parent isn't just about doing everything yourself. It's also about recognizing when a task is better, safer, and just plain kinder to hand over to a professional. So if you're dealing with severely matted fur, especially if it's tight against the skin, please do not try to cut it out with scissors. The risk of accidentally cutting your cat's skin is incredibly high. If your cat becomes truly aggressive and grooming turns into a stressful battle for both of you, or for those necessary dental cleanings, calling a professional groomer or your vet is the right and safest choice. Ultimately, you can think of grooming as a conversation you're having with your cat's body. It's how you listen for the little things that might be wrong. You are their #1 health advocate, their guardian, and you're the one they count on to notice those tiny changes that can signal a problem. Paying attention, that's the most important job you have.